Welcome to Anime Sickos Podcast, the podcast for geniuses, and the only podcast where we look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I'm here.
You got to say it.
I'm not a guest. I'm like the sicko. I'm a sicko. I'm Marquez. I am also an anime sicko.
If you don't remember Marquez, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, I'll remind you, Marquez was our guest on the last episode of Anime Sickos we recorded before COVID became real. You and what do I mean by that? I think you know. There was that time before where you were just like, I heard about this weird disease. I wonder what that's going to be. And then it became real.
There are no cases in the US, so I'm safe and good.
Oh, there's one case in the U.S. Well, maybe it'll peter out. I can't I can't leave the house. So I'm glad that we got you back at long last, because, man, we've all changed so much since then, huh?
I'm completely different. I'm no longer the same person.
It's we recorded that in the studio at Cards Against Humanity building before we knew that building was the site of a great evil. We're like, we knew it was the source of a great evil because it made Cards Against Humanity, but that I can overlook. And then the news came out and it's like, there's a lot more shit you can't overlook. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. Actually, you know what we really need to do before we get into the meat of the episode is thank all the new patrons who have patronized Anime Sickos podcast, and here are their names. First is Finn. Finn, thank you for your $5.
Thank you, Finn. I'm just gonna thank you. I'm gonna thank you.
Yeah, you're not getting any money, Marquez,
no, but I'm thanking them.
I appreciate it. Our next one is, well, I hope I do, because it's see ya later. Thank you, see ya later.
Thank you. See you later. I hope that Anime Sickos sees you later with more money.
Damn, recurring pledge. So I mean, you could just pay us $5 1 month and then cancel if you want to do a one-time thing. I would appreciate that. You don't have to recur, but we do hope to see you later. Our next patron is going to be Jarvis Hunt. Jarvis is a classic name. That's a name you don't see too much. You should see it a little more, in my opinion.
And hunt is something that you do.
That's true.
To kill things and eat them.
That sounds like something Luffy would like. And then our last new patron is going to be Rosalie King. Thank you, Rosalie.
Thank you, Rosalie.
Hell yeah. The way. I should, it occurs to me I should tell people why we have a Patreon and what it's for. Well, it's for giving us money primarily. But what do you get? You get episodes released early, if you care about that. And also we have a Patreon exclusive music discussion show called Tom's Record Club, which I think is a lot of fun. You got to pay to hear that. And it's funny because it's very niche and not a lot of people want to hear it, but you have to pay to hear it. And that's what you get.
That's the best thing you get out of a Patreon, is something that people don't want.
I want it. It's for me. Anyway, Marquez, we're here to talk about One Piece.
There is One Piece, and we're going to talk about it because I hadn't One Piece over 7 years ago. No, it's not 7, 5 years ago since I was last here. No One Piece. Now full One Piece.
Full One Piece. Current.
Yes, I am up to date. I am a monster.
That is an incredible rate of consumption, because I was starting One Piece, I think, in 2018 or something.
Well, you see, I moved apartments, and in the move, I became a physical and emotional wreck. And so my current partner, Jimmy, decided to put on One Piece because I couldn't give a proper, I don't feel like it at the time. And so it just happened. And then I met my good friend Laboon, and that was it. It locked in.
What if a whale was your skeleton's best friend? You have a skeleton in your crew, and his best friend is a funny whale who loves him.
And his goal is to see that whale again.
You know what I would do if that happened? I did just ask, what if? Here's the what if. I would fucking cry for real is what I would do, and I believe that you have implied you did the same, Marquez.
Oh, there are so many cry moments in One Piece. Yes, I cried. I
Yes.
like openly cried. It's not like oh, I got a little sad. No, it's tears, it's sobs.
It's sad. It's the thing that surprises me that it still happens so much is that, like, in an anime with the voice acting and the music and the direction, like, I can be like, "Okay, it makes sense why they're able to jerk some real tears out of me." When I'm reading the manga on my phone and a black and white drawing on my phone makes me like have that like face tension that's like, uh-oh, it's coming. And then like that incredible, unbelievable that it's still doing that. Now, speaking of still doing that, you might be saying, Tom, I'm pretty sure there was a famous episode of Anime Sickos called the One Piece episode, hundreds of episodes in the past, maybe 100 of episode in the past. Uh, how come another one? Well, because there's a lot fucking more One Piece since then, since that came out. And a lot of people are always thinking like, yeah, One Piece, I bet it started good, but like it probably got bad. Like it's probably bad now. And we're just here. We're gonna be doing full spoilers to current One Piece. So if that bugs you, skip this one and come back to it when you're current. You want to be current anyway, because this shit fucking whips. And that's the spoiler for our opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of problems because it's fucking manga. But like overall, my feeling is that One Piece is the best comic book ever made. I love this comic book.
Like saying that like a manga's got like pervert stuff is just like, okay, cool. Sky blue, you breathe air to live, like that's normal.
Mm-hmm. And also similarly for a fucking manga with 1100 plus chapters, for me to say Wano was too slow and too long, it's just like, yeah, like too slow and too long has been like baked in since day one. We were never gonna avoid that. Um,
And
but
also, like, it's Oda, so, like, when have you ever seen outside of, like, manga, an artist who fully is able to just say, "What if I just took you on, like, 100 chapter journey into feudal Japan because I want to take you there?"
mhm. It's true. I mean, yeah, fair enough. I mean, well, okay. If, as we're on Wano, let's talk about what's so fucking stupid about Wano. Because what you say sounds great. What if we have a feudal Japan? You know, Luffy and the Straw Hats. The whole concept of the series is they're on the big world of islands, and every island is a kooky island with a funny theme. And wouldn't it be funny if one of them was fucking feudal Japan themed and it had Japanese monsters in it and samurais and such? Wouldn't that be crazy? Especially with a Japanese core audience. These are the sort of
And,
cultural
like,
signifiers you
Zoro,
grew up with. Yeah, Zoro's a fucking
he's
samurai.
got 3 swords.
Incredible. Like it's a you can't miss. Well, actually, you can. And here's how. One, you decide that to make everything in Wano so fucking complicated, I need to make sure you know that there are 5 different states in Wano, and all of them have their own culture and own ecosystem. And also, I need to make you so sure you understand about the sea walls that make Wano a naturally impregnable fortress that allows them to have an independent culture that the world government can't influence. And I need to make you so sure that you know about all the daimyos of those 5 different ones. And also, I need to make you so sure you know about all of the Toby Roppo, the number one guys who are in Kaido's crew, because there are 10 members of the Straw Hat crew, and they each need to have a fight, and they each need to have someone to fight. So I need to give you all these fucking guys that work for the goddamn boss, and I need to make sure you know. I mean, make sure you're so sure about what they all do and what they all say, what their personalities are, so that and it's like it's just too like
And
ill
there
me.
there are just too many people to remember.
Oh, also, all that shit. Did I also remember that there are 9 legendary samurais who each all have to have a star turn. And
And
also, there's the heart pirates here, so Law needs to have a star turn. And also, the kid pirates are here, so the kid needs to have a star turn. And also, Basil Hawkins and Apu are here because they work for Kaido now. They need to have a star moment. And it's just like, what the fuck?
And then, like, in comparison, you go to the next arc in which it's literally just the Straw Hats and new characters, and you're like, this is great. This is not
Yeah.
Wano.
I was getting nervous at the end of Wano that like, is One Piece like tipped into bullshit territory because there was so much hype over Wano. They've been talking about Wano for years. Wano's where the samurais come from. The strongest guys in the world come from Wano because they're samurais. And then we get there and it's just like, hey, now that we're on Wano, we gotta go to where Kaido lives and beat his damn ass. And I'm like, is that the entire plot of the entire? Yes, it really
Yes.
is as simple as that. And it's like, are you really going to spend 120 chapters on we need to go to Kaido house and beat he damn ass? Yes. And I was afraid, but then we get Egghead Island, which I gotta say, okay, this is a perfect segue into something that I think is the key to why late One Piece still owns is that we are people always make fun of One Piece. Oh, it's like a mystery box. They're never going to show what it is. Well, there's actually been a ton lately of reveals. And the reason these reveals kick ass is they do three things. One, the reveal is of something that's really cool. Two, that really cool thing is not even close to any of the things that I had guessed it would be. And three, it didn't come out of nowhere, which I don't understand how he could pull that off so fucking frequently. And the best example of that is Dr. Vegapunk, the genius scientist who
Oh,
has been mentioned fucking forever. He has a hand in everything that has happened in the world of One Piece since the beginning. We have
yes.
no idea who he is. We've never seen him. And an Egghead Island is he house. That's where he live. Marquez, what's the deal with Dr. Vegapunk?
Well, the deal is he's a really tall Einstein guy whose brain got so big that he had to chop it off and put it in a big cloud in the sky and then separate his self into 6 or 7, I forget the number,
Six. It's
different,
six.
okay, 6 different guys. So all the major supporting characters of Egghead are just Vegapunk.
It is so like holy shit. Because like the first time the big reveal is like someone comes out of like a cyber
Robot.
robot in fact, and introduces themselves to the Straw Hat crew, and it is a booby babe in a skin tight jumpsuit.
And you go like, yeah, that makes sense. This is One Piece. Like, of course Dr. Vegapunk is a big boobied lady.
But turns out it's even better. He's an old man who, yes, he decided, like, there's just too few hours in the day for me to do what I need to do. If only there were just more of me. Oh, wait, I have uncovered cloning. There can be more of me. And instead of just making 6 old men, I'm going to have each of them specialize in a certain part of my personality. So, like, one of them is just like the dad. He's the good one. He's the one who makes sure everyone does the right thing. And, one of them is greed, whose whole point is to eat and shit so that none of the other 7 have to, et cetera, et cetera. And he decides to make like 2 of his 6 personalities big booby babes, which like I gotta respect that.
Yeah. What I appreciate though is like usually like Oda's like, hey, you're gonna visit a place. We're gonna give you like these wonderfully designed freaks, a team of freaks. And then in Egghead, it's just all the same guy, and they're all like different designs. They're all unique One Piece ass designs that run the gamut of big little girl, small robot, big booby lady, regular guy, the classics.
We also need to point out, and this is an incredible, like, this is why Oda, to take away all the plotting and story and world building that he can do. This is why he's one of the great cartoonists who ever did it, just purely on the strength of, like, drawing and the personality of his art. You mentioned that Dr. Vegapunk cut his brain off and put it in a big, big cloud in the sky
Oh my
because it
god.
was too big to fit on his head. Well, how did that doesn't that kill him? No, no, don't you see? Don't you see? He's a scientist, so he's able to have a radio communication to his brain. And the reason that his clones are able to do more research is that at the end of the day, they send all their brain data to the cloud, literally to the cloud
A
where his
big
brain
cloud.
is. And then because what they researched is in his brain, he knows it too. Incredible. But how does he communicate with the brain? How does he get those signals? Well, there's a little apple core on the top of his head.
Obviously.
And they ask him, what's with the apple? He says, it's my antenna. And that's the end
Yes,
of it.
no explanation. Apple is antenna. Do not ask Oda further.
Oh my God. And again, are we just being very self indulgent at this episode, Marquez? Are we giving ourselves permission for that?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to explain this great. This is one of the great jokes of One Piece. It is not the best joke. The best joke is, of course, Duval's face reveal.
That's the best joke in One Piece, by far.
I think it's one of the best jokes in any fucking comic book. Where Sanji is mad because his wanted poster is a caricature of him that looks nothing like him, where he looks like a dumb ass. And then a scary masked man threatens the Straw Hat crew for a while, and they don't know why he has such violent hatred for them until he takes his mask off and he looks exactly like the wanted poster for Sanji, where he looks like a dumbass. And he's like, because of this poster, everyone wants to fucking arrest me now. Ha ha ha. Hilarious. Well, back in ages ago, we met a shitty samurai child who everyone hated on Punk Hazard,
Oh my
which was
god.
the island that Dr. Vegapunk used to do his science on before he got a better one on Egghead Island. And we find this shitty child who everyone fucking hates, and he is able to change into a little pink dragon that is very similar to the dragon that Kaido, the big evil guy in Wano, he can turn into with his devil fruit. They ask, how did you do that? And he's like, well, I ate a fruit that was in the garbage chute because I was starving and it was the only food I could eat. And after that, I'm able to turn into this. And like, oh, it must have been an artificial devil fruit. Well, every other artificial devil fruit fucking sucks and like makes you a freak. But his is like good and works. And so it's like, well, how did that get there? What does that mean about Kaido and like like what is the lore of like, how did the world government scientist gets Kaido's devil fruit? Why were they able to make a replica of it? And if they were, then why are all the other man-made devil fruits so bad? It's so weird. But when they meet Dr. Vegapunk, they're like, oh, by the way, like, did you make this fruit like he turns to like a replica of Kaido's fruit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it was an awful failure. I had to throw it out because it was bullshit." And they're like, "What now? Why would you say that? Because I just was with the shitty child." And
Works perfectly fine. Works great. Best dragon that like able to defend his country.
yeah, and so to be clear, I want to make it obvious to everybody who doesn't know. Kaido, the big villain, whose fruit they were trying to replicate, he turns into a blue dragon when he uses his devil fruit. Okay. Dr. Vegapunk asked, "Yeah, but what color was the dragon?" They say pink, and he
Pink.
goes, "Well, there you go. That's the fucking
That's
problem."
is a failure entirely.
Amazing. We've known about the shitty child that can turn into a dragon for like legitimately 8 years. I love the rollout of these jokes.
Oda's good. He's got timing. He throws a brick up in the air and then it floats in the air for 800 chapters.
Shall we, if we're doing full spoilers, shall we talk about Gear 5? Now, this is a big
Oh,
development in One Piece that we got. It has to be good. It can't be lame.
Also,
Marquez, tell me your opinion.
okay. Well, first off, if you are being spoiled about Gear 5, you have not interacted with One Piece in any way, shape, or form, because the marketing and you know, the merchandise loves to spoil that Gear 5 exists. There's no way to avoid it. Uh
My thoughts is, one, yeah, it's really bullshit in terms of like if you're not current, it's such a big reveal and it's like so important in the story. Like, oh, that like the fact that they're constantly spoiling and all
yep.
fucking advertising is really lame. But also at the same time, if I was on that advertising team and I got a memo that's like, hey, this is Luffy's new form and the new powers he's gonna have, I would have dollar signs in my eyes and I would do the exact same thing. Like, because it's so cool.
Okay. So, actual opinion on Gear 5. So, other anime protagonists, they get cool powers that make them more serious and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, that's so boring.
It works. It has diminishing returns really
Yes.
fast. Super Saiyan is badass. Super Saiyan 2, not so much. Super Saiyan 3, I don't care. Super Saiyan Blue or whatever, fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah, Midoriya gets a percentage of his power unlocked, and he goes like, now I'm at 20%. It's like, great. It's essentially the same thing. And to be fair, the difference between Gear 2 and Gear 3 of One Piece is like negligible. Uh
Mm-hmm.
and yet, the Gear 4, he could turn different forms and he has hockey, not whatever. But Gear 5 is he turned into a cartoon man fully.
It is so fucking funny. He turns into a Tom and Jerry man.
A little tube armed, wide eyed, bugging out of his face guy.
He turns to Cuphead. Becomes
Yep.
Cuphead. He can do the thing where everything around him becomes. He's like, you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh? Remember Pegasus? He had Toon World. He would play Toon World, and everything would be cartoons. And if you weren't a cartoon, you were at such a fucking disadvantage because you're literally in Toon World. That's where they're from. You got to be a toon when you're in there. That's what he does to everyone. The first time, and this reads so much better in the anime, and I saw a lot of the Gear 5
Yeah.
reveal because they were putting that shit on YouTube and being like, look at this,
Immediately.
look at this, look at this. In the manga, he does a thing where he does a big goofy punch right at Kaido's head, and it goes in his ear, and the outline of Luffy's fist is like coming out of the opposite side of his head. And I thought that he had punched through Kaido's head, killing him instantly. No, he had turned his head into toon rubber, and it was just that like it was.
And what's so great is that Kaido is such a serious threat. I mean, he's not because he's drunk all the time, but like when he sobers up, he's a serious threat. He like is like, you are nothing in comparison to me. And when Luffy turn into cartoon, he is able to just like throw Kaido around like a big rag doll. And when he like gets, in Super Mario 64, when you twist Bowser's tail around and throw him
Mhm.
off the platform, like Luffy does that to Kaido, and you see that his eyes stay behind before they zoot off with him, and that's the greatest shit of all time.
Like, I think if you go back and listen to the first One Piece episode that we did, I say that one of the great things about One Piece is that when they see thing that is crazy, they eyes bug out and they tongue becomes ziggy zag. And I thought that's so funny because to have that literally be happening in the fiction of what is ostensibly a serious action adventure story is so silly. I love that he's not afraid to be silly. Now, what if I tripled down on that and made eyes bug out and tongue go ziggy zaggy be the ultimate power of the great hero? Turns out I'd love it.
Yeah, and everyone else being like, "Oh, well, that's so stupid." Like everyone in the world, like it's not like everyone in the world is like, "This is the coolest thing to ever happen." We outside of One Piece are like, "This is the coolest thing to ever happen." Everyone in One Piece, including like his crew, are like, "This is very stupid." Um, like this power is very, very dumb.
The evil world government, who for reasons we'll get into knows all about what Luffy is capable of, refers to Gear 5, a state that they are very afraid of and wish to never occur, as the most ridiculous power. It's not the most strongest, it's the most ridiculous.
Like we hate fun. They hate fun.
They fucking do, dude. It's awful. Should we? Okay, I think we must. We've gassed up Gear 5, and rightly so. We must address the sort of dark flip side of the coin, which is part. It came with a reveal that many dislike, and I'm interested to hear your
Mm.
thoughts on it. Which is, turns out, all along, Luffy did not have the gum gum fruit, a shitty low tier fruit about rubber. In fact, what he had was the Nika fruit, where Nika is the sun god who recurs throughout history, who was a silly guy who loves partying, who was most recently manifested in a historical figure known as Joy Boy, who was involved in a war against the world government 800 years ago, but failed and was not able to defeat them. Hence the current status quo, where the fascist slave government is in control of everybody. Does this make Luffy a chosen one? Does this cheapen his rags to riches journey?
I would say it would if Luffy cared any bit about what you just said, which he does not know nor care about. He could not care less. He just wants to be who he always has been.
It is very funny how every once in a while someone who is has knowledge of Nika and Joy Boy, which is very few people because that is a remnant of the Void Century, a period of history that the world government has intentionally removed from fucking circulation. So nobody should know. Like, if you are caught knowing this shit, they'll kill you or put you in jail. No, they'll kill you.
No, they will not put you in jail. They will just murder you.
Yeah, no, we know that. We saw it happen. Fucking Robin's Island got nuked to nothing. We saw it happen. Anyway, the point being, people will come up and be like, because he has to have his heart has to beat a funny way to activate Gear 5, and it beats in a catchy rhythm that is like the rhythm of Nika. And people who know that rhythm, and they'll be like, hearing those drums again, sir, Joy Boy, Nika, it really meant a lot, and I'm so glad you're here again to save us, just like you did all those years ago. And Luffy's like, "We're fucking nuts. We just met." Anyway,
Who are you?
It's so good. I love it. Ah,
I think it's definitely like a have your cake and eat it too kind of thing, because I do think that there is some beauty in like a character like Jewelry Bonnie, who waited for Joy Boy her whole life, and then he shows up and she gets to like have like oh, like my entire existence is made whole now. And then you also get Luffy saying like I've just been here.
yeah, like, well, I don't. Well, that's nice. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go punch that bad guy because he mean.
He's punching the bad guy not because he's a chosen one, but because that's just the thing that you should be doing if someone is killing other people and taking stuff from them. That's
Yes.
not a chosen one narrative. That is just what you should be doing.
Oh, I mean, the real reason that he was doing that, especially on Egghead Island, is that when they first got there, they met the giant robot little girl who is the violence part of Vegapunk's personality. And she was like, if you're hungry, we have replicator from Star Trek that make hot dog and pizza. And Luffy had star eyes and became round from eating hot dog and pizza. And thus, when the villains come, he says, you can't hurt someone who gave me food.
That is an incorrect move for you to make.
You should, I mean, the second food was given, Vegapunk is off limits, and oh my god. Oh, we're talking about Vegapunk. We got to talk about Kuma because they're connected. Because these are both examples of an incredible One Piece trick that they do so much. Because they're introducing so many characters throughout this endless series, so many wacky character designs, and these tertiary characters almost all the time they're just these guys who show up like once or twice and kind of stand around and have like a boom title card appear that says their name and what their deal is and like what their position is in whatever organization they're part of. And they don't really do, maybe they say a couple of lines. Maybe they do something like once, so you know what their power is generally, but then they're gone. And you're like, I guess that's someone who's around.
And if you're a longtime anime sickos listener, you might recognize Bartholomew Kuma from when Tom did a guess that devil fruit that he stopped doing because the devil fruit stopped being interesting. There are only so many that are weird.
Most of them do exactly what they say, which is not fun.
But Kuma has the pawpaw fruit, which when I learned about the pawpaw fruit, I wanted to quit One Piece. I didn't really. I would never do that.
It is perhaps one of the dumbest things that the series asks you to accept without further questions, which is just like all the devil fruits are like, okay, it's the something something fruit. Now, what is the main thing you know about this thing? What is its main characteristics? And they throw to the audience says in unison, and it's like, yep, that's right. And then the guy does that thing. What is the main thing that you know about paws? Like paws, like how animals have paws. What do you know about paws? And it's like, they cannot be permeated by any substance, physical or abstract. And you go, huh? What? Huh?
And
What?
they absorb all hits coming towards them, and they can also take the pain away from other people and bring them into yourself.
Well, it's because they're so impermeable that if they push against your pain, the pain gets repelled. Because it can't go through a paw, Marquez. Are you insane? It's a paw.
And those paws can send you all the way around the world.
Yeah, because they repel you so strongly that you travel at billions of miles per hour and can stop when he wants.
When I say that the physic like listen, I'm not like a cinema sins dinger type of person, but when all of that was revealed, I was just so mad. That I was like, there's nothing that Oda could do to make me like this man, Bartholomew Kuma. I hate him. I hate everything that he stands for. If he showed up again, I would be so mad.
So when he shows up in a number of ways, very briefly throughout this series, he shows up at the end of the Halloween arc where our heroes are like absolutely fucking beat to shit. They have done everything they can. They're totally spent and they just won by the skin of their teeth. And then another guy shows up. But instead of like killing them, he sort of like gives Zoro a test of his like loyalty and is sort of happy to hear that Zoro is like a ride or die for Luffy, and then he leaves them alone. He later shows up when they're about to go to the new world, and when it becomes clear that they don't have what it takes to get there, he uses his paw powers to teleport them to just where they need to be to train up and get better at being pirates. And you're like, I wonder what that was about. And meanwhile, as this is all happening, the world government is making an army of robots who look exactly like him to be fucking auto killing guys. And you're like, I wonder what the deal is with that. And then when they meet him again, he has become a robot and doesn't have a brain anymore. And so you're like, I guess that was the end of him. You hear briefly that he was involved in the Revolutionary Army, basically Marxists. We love them because, well, we'll get to why we love them. And then much later in Egghead Island, we hit that thing that Oda does, which is he takes these tertiary characters that you don't really have any feelings for. How could you? And he's like, hey, remember that? Now, what if I told you that this was actually the greatest human being who ever lived, and all he ever wanted was to make other people happy? And what if I further told you that they took everything from him? Everything. Well, what would you believe? I would start crying at my phone because I did.
Yeah, that was as a non-manga. I mean, I read the manga, but as a anime watcher, once the anime got to this point, me and my partner couldn't stop crying for a good 10 minutes when this happened. And I'm sorry, I take back everything I ever said about Bartholomew Kuma. He is, in fact, the greatest man to ever live, and he died for our sins.
Every once in a while you hear that, like, can you believe that there are conservative One Piece fans?
I
Don't
can't.
they know? Don't they know that Luffy's like a left wing freedom fighter? Luffy's not left wing because he hasn't read any theory. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a if you feed me, and are nice, I'll protect you. And he's not left wing because he believes in monarchy. He very often will put the nice king back on the throne and be like, I love kings when they're nice.
Well, if kings are nice, they won't do anything bad. We all know this.
But what you cannot say is that, like, the fascist world government is not just explicitly evil in every way. They are fascist because they are all in service to a rich capital owning class, the Celestial Dragons. And what is the main thing that the government does? It makes sure that the Celestial Dragons are able to commit any crime, mostly slavery. And
They love it.
everything is in service to making sure that they are able to stay funded and stay committing crimes forever. And all of the people of Earth are lesser than them and exist purely to bankroll their lifestyle.
Two things: hide information, love slaves. Those
Yeah.
two
Oh, yes.
things.
Propaganda on slaves. Fuck the world government. And you see the world government be bad in sort of as a matter of course as the series goes on, because like the Marines are going to be an antagonistic force and you are going to see them do evil things. Even if there are good Marines, they're forced to do evil things in service to their evil orders, and they might go, I don't know if I like that, but if you really didn't like it, you would fucking quit, like Monkey D. Dragon, wouldn't you?
The greatest man who's never done anything.
but the Kuma backstory is just like, oh, I want to kill the world government. I want to kill the Celestial Dragons myself. Like, I would like to step into the comic book and be the one to strangle them and see the light go out. Because they took everything. They're also extremely racist. That's the other thing. They're white supremacists, and I say white not because I'm using that as an equivalent term. It's not that they hate people of color. It's that they hate Buccaneers and the Davy clan, which are made up minorities.
Yeah, how many, I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna say that this is true, but like, how many people of color has Oda ever met?
Not many. He's from Japan. It's an extremely racist society. Sorry, it is. I mean, it's not like there are any that aren't.
Yeah, we are too. I'm not saying we are not racist to society.
I mean, there's like literally racist kidnapping squads on the streets of our city every day. I hear their helicopters constantly. We are no better. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Oda has very little contact with non-Japanese folks in his daily life. That said, the world government is white supremacists. Another reason to hate those motherfuckers. And you say Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's dad, is the coolest guy who's never done anything. I tell you, he's never done anything. That's true. But we're currently one chapter from current. He does perhaps the greatest thing that anyone in One Piece has ever done. Power scalers like talking about feats. They will cite feats that characters have performed to prove how powerful they are.
I hate this.
You say this guy's more powerful, but if you look at the feats, then you see.
Oh yeah, I read his Wikipedia.
Monkey D. Dragon has the most impressive feat of any One Piece character. I'll tell you why. We see a flashback where he is an enlisted Marine who is working as a cop during a fucking murder festival that the Celestial Dragons are holding because they would like to murder people.
Like the Purge movies. That's like they're doing a purge.
Yeah. And he is like the cop who just makes sure that like he's security basically as the Celestial Dragons go around with guns and kill anyone they see for fun. Circumstances occur, you know how it is. He believes himself to be at death's door. He believes that the killing stroke is coming for him and there is no way out. And this is the feat that he does that is better than any other manga character ever. He thinks to himself, well, this is what I deserve for being a cop.
Amazing. Fantastic.
I don't need him to do another thing.
Yep, he could do nothing for the rest of the damn series, and I wouldn't care, because that is the best thing that a cop in any story can do.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's so good. I mean, we all glaze Luffy's granddad and Dragon's father, Monkey D. Garp. He's so cool. He's funny. He's strong. He's goofy. He's like cool. He's always doing he's being charismatic. He's always doing fun stuff. I'm sorry, he never quit the Marines.
Oh, he sucks fully.
He was doing hold me back, bro, while they were executing what is essentially his grandson Ace, and he let them do it.
Yeah, no,
sorry, fucker.
You said hold me back, but like he was just like standing there for the most part. Like he let them do it.
Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable. Sorry, man. You gotta quit. You gotta be like your son Dragon and quit.
Oh well, Tom. Of course he doesn't quit, but he has a group of people that work for him that did quit. Because there's an organization called Sword that is like Shield from Marvel Comics, except it's all caps, but we don't know what Sword stands for. I don't know if it's an acronym or if it's just Sword with all caps. But they're cops who quit because they want to extrajudiciously, be cops, which is the best thing a cop can do, is quit and then become a super cop.
It's very, very funny to me that the way One Piece presents a special group of cops is like, these are the nice cops who aren't evil. The justification is like, these cops aren't subject to any rules or regulations. Therefore, they're really nice and do the right thing. It's like, well, that only makes sense in your cartoon world, Oda, because you've made it so clear that the rules you have to follow are like, make sure you let Epstein's kill people. Like, make sure
that it's like the inverse of Good Kings, like is good cops that quit, like.
I guess, Jesus. The whole sword shit is some shit that has not yet paid off. And anytime we're focusing on the sword guys, I'm just like, yawn. When is this going to be relevant?
Well, I like Kobe because we want to like Kobe. And we can't like Kobe. I
do like him.
We can't like Kobe if he's a full Marine. So he needs to be the extra judicious Punisher Marine.
That's true. It's just there's a lot of bullshit about they go and fight Blackbeard's crew, who, the Blackbeard's crew is obviously going to be the final bosses of the Straw Hats. And so, like, it makes sense that they need to be sort of present and known about before that happens. But I don't know. Every time they have a fight, it's like so truncated, and they're so truncated because, and it has to be because it's a side thing, it's something that's happening to the side that's not the main story, and therefore it's like their powers seem so shallow because you only see them do one thing. Their characters, their personalities never flesh out because you only see them for like 1 second each, and it's like, am I supposed to fucking like what am I getting from this? Nothing.
No, I agree completely with that, because I mean, like, their powers are cool. Like, there's the guy who is Island.
I do think that is pretty good.
Yeah.
I love the big San Juan Wolf, who's just like a dopey dude whose power is that he's just like huge.
Yes.
He doesn't have a boat, he just walks.
Yeah.
walks on the fucking ground of the ocean. I love it.
But yeah, it's that part is like, can we get back to like One Piece with Luffy?
Speaking of, can we get back to One Piece? After Egghead, the current arc that is occurring right now has a storytelling decision that drove you nuts. You told me about it. I got there. It's driving me nuts.
It's good.
Yes, it's all good. It's just like the structure is like, oh no, there probably was a better way to do this. We go to Elbaf, the island of the giants, which we've heard about for ages. It's great. Circumstances occur where Elbaf is in an utter crisis. Everything's totally fucking fucked, and it's fucked in an awful way. But maybe we could fight back if we unchain the strongest giant, Loki, who is chained to the bottom of the world tree that the island is made up of. But he's chained there because he is the worst giant ever. He is a criminal who killed the great king who everyone loves, and he stole a devil fruit, the power of which could kill it could destroy the world, his power. There are many, many fruits that could destroy the world. So I don't know why this one is special, but everyone hates it. And so they're like, you can never let Loki out. And Luffy is like, we gotta let Loki out. And Loki says, well, I bet you would change your mind about letting me out. For the positive, I mean, if you knew the truth about me, I'll tell you everything.
He means it.
He begins to tell the story of his backstory and how he grew up to be the guy he is. And in the in the process of telling that story, he talks about how he met the pirate Rox D. Zebek. And then we stop following Loki.
Yeah, he's not telling the story anymore. Because the narrator,
just the story of Rox D. Zebek.
Like the narrator's like, now let's forget about what Loki was saying right there. We need to focus in on this Rox guy, because he's been a name that's been thrown around in One Piece for a little bit, and now we need. And to be fair, again, it's good, but still, it was Loki's story that the narrator kind of just stole. And as soon as this part of the arc is over, we're going to have to go back to Loki's story, and then we're going to have to go back to the present day when everything's in crisis.
It is so insane what a momentum shift it is, because like let me give you a snapshot, listener, of what type of crisis Elbaf is in. All of the children are being forced to walk off a cliff, or else big magical thorns will tear them apart and kill them. Also, the only way to prevent them from being walked off a cliff is for them to the island itself to burn its library, which is the last copy of the information about the Void Century that many, many people, including Robin's mother, gave their lives to preserve. And they did light it on fire. It's burning now. Also, the King of Earth is using the board game Othello to turn our great friends who we've loved for years into evil demons who say, I love evil.
I will kill you with my big axe because I'm evil now.
And we stop all that to have Loki's backstory, and then we stop that to learn about Rox D. Zebek, a guy that Loki said, let me join your pirate crew, and Rox said, you are a child. You straight up a child. No. Here's what we knew about Rox D. Zebek going forward. He was involved in an incident that cannot be spoken of. It's illegal to speak of this incident. The God Valley incident. That was where Rox met his downfall. Previous to that, he was a great pirate whose crew was the strongest ever. Whitebeard was on his crew. Big Mom was on his crew. Kaido was on his crew. All these big heavy hitters under one crew. Incredible. This guy is the worst of the worst. They say, you think pirates are evil, but you don't know evil until you meet Rox. He was a piece of fucking shit. Rox is the greatest man who ever lived. He's so he's like straight up very kind.
And he's like good to other people and his crew.
The reason that he met Loki is because he keeps visiting Elbaf to try to convince Loki's father, the king, that, hey, you are a very strong nation with a lot of military power on account of you are giant. I think it would be better if you resisted the evil world government and tried to maintain your independence, which is objectively the right thing to do. And he doesn't like try to take over Elbaf and like make them do it. He just comes by every once in a while and it's like, hey man, hey King Harold, you know what I really think would be the right thing for you? These guys are fucking evil. Like, they want to make a giant slave. You understand they want to make a slave out of one of you, right? They think it's so cool to own a giant. Don't let them.
Don't vote for the world government. They don't have your best interests at heart. Just don't do it. And I mean, for some reason, the Giant King is always like, let me think about this for a little bit more. And
I mean, his stupid justification is like, Elbaf has too long of a history of war, and our wars are too destructive, and I want to make this a peaceful nation where you can be a scholar. And, like, I understand that. I feel that. I don't want to go to war.
But maybe you should kill the, like, bad, evil government people first before you decide to put your arms down.
Yep.
Maybe.
And then we learn what is this God Valley incident, which cannot be spoken of. It's illegal to know what this is. We get to see what it actually is. What actually happened? What is Roxy-Zebek doing? Well, it turns out that the island that they picked for their murder game, the Celestial Dragons playing their murder game, is God Valley, which is the island that he's from. And his wife and children live there. And when they pick an island to have their murder game on, every person who lives there will be murdered because that's the game. No one is immune. In fact, the more prominent a person you kill, the more points you get. So Roxy-Zebek is crashing the God Valley murder game to save his wife and child who he loves sincerely.
Yeah, he's the greatest man of all time who ever lived.
Oh, meanwhile, the king of the pirates, Gold Roger, is there purely because the world government has kidnapped Shaki, a Amazon pirate who he wants to goon over as the prize for the person who kills the most. You get to own her as a slave. He wants to have her for his own self. And so he's like, I gotta get her for me because she's so hot. And it's just like, you fucking, what a chump. And also, no, because she wants to fuck Silver's Rayleigh, his first mate, who has 10 times Roger's aura.
And is the coolest. Rayleigh's one of the coolest guys. Like the thing about Goldie Roger is that everything we learn about Goldie Roger is just from other people. But like in One Piece, because Silver's Rayleigh is still alive, we get to see him be the coolest guy of all time, and he is.
Like, we see him as an old man chilling with his common law wife, Shaki, and they're like, hey, we're cool old hippies who fuck. You know we do. And you're just like, I love these two.
Yep.
I can't wait to learn more about him. And then you do learn more about him, which is back when she was young. Everyone was gooning over this woman. They were like, I want to fucking fuck her. But Silver's Rayleigh, he was just like, I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna keep it real cool. And the only guy that she thought was hot was Silver's Rayleigh, and she gave him a note that said, "Come and get me, Shaki." And he was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. I'm nervous about this. And then when she is held hostage at God Valley to be the prize slave for the most murderous guy, it becomes clear that, oh, there's too many pirates here. This whole thing is a bust. We got to get out of here. And one of the evil celestial dragons is like, I'm just going to kill Shaki. It's easier to have her be dead than deal with what we're going to do with her. And she's about to be killed with the killing blow. And who should rush in but the coolest dude, Silver's Rayleigh, and says, Shaki, I finally came for you. And she cries, and I cry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are the old people who fuck. This is how they started fucking.
And then there's like Shank's dad. You don't need to worry about that.
Shank's dad is a piece of fucking shit. I hate Shank's dad. Shank's dad is the guy who wants to own
Yeah.
Shaggy as a
Oh,
slave.
and killed his wife, who is Shanks's mother, just like by like, I found a better wife, and then just stabs her.
Yeah, she comes up and it's like, "Oh, honey, I'm glad you finally came back to the island. You'll never believe it. I had twins." And he's like, "That's interesting." Pow.
He kills her.
And hey, how come Shanks was able to get out alive and be a pirate instead of being an evil guy's son? Well, because he was rescued by Monkey D. Dragon.
Mhm.
So why was it that Shanks was so ready to give everything for Luffy and is so proud to see Luffy's rise? Well, it's because Luffy's dad is the only reason he has any freedom in his life. It's
It
beautiful.
all comes together. You don't think that after like 25 years of One Piece that it'll all come together, and it's starting to.
That's okay. That's like it's starting to is so real. Like we're getting like I talked about like reveals that are cool that aren't what you guessed and that don't come out of nowhere. And like I said that about Vegapunk, but like we're getting shit about the end that is like, oh, this is like not
It's not a
a
joke.
fake out.
Yeah, he like when he said like after Wano, I'm getting close to ending this thing. He wasn't joking.
And like it sounds like he's joking to people who don't read it because someone will clarify, like when he says close, he means 300 chapters. And to someone who doesn't know, that sounds ridiculous. It sounds like he doesn't know what he's talking about. It just is going to take that long because there's just so much to get through it. But like the whole thing about like we're learning about the Void Century, we're learning about that ancient kingdom that was the opponent of the world government that had the big war against them, and the war against them is the thing that they want them to not know. And one of the reasons they want them to not know it is because one of the weapons that the ancient empire had that the current world government secretly does still have, now that they have a magical fire that Vegapunk was able to recreate that the ancient kingdom had. They are able to power an ancient weapon that is able to completely annihilate a island from above. And when it does, it causes the sea level of the earth to rise. And actually, turns out prior to this war, the sea level of the earth was like a kilometer less. And on the ocean floor is like most of the world. And like, this is not supposed to be islands.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the? Like, the One Piece is gonna be about that. Like, what is the One Piece? I bet he doesn't even know. It's gonna be it's gonna be the key to all of that shit. It's gonna be the key to what happened to the ancient kingdom. How do we stop the current world government? What is the thing? And it's also, I know this because when Roger saw it, he laughed at it, and also because of it's in One Piece, it's gonna be silly and stupid. It's gonna
Oh,
be fucking funny.
it's yeah, and it should be. I'm sorry. This is not a I Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia, like they have funny moments, but like at the end of the day, like we're telling a serious story, and One Piece has never been a serious story, and yet it is the best shonen.
It's the best one. I mean, the ancient guy who was the Luffy before Luffy who couldn't get the job done was named Joy Boy. A boy of joy. And like, what does everyone do when Luffy, the great hero, comes around? They're full of joy. What does he do when he's his most powerful? He makes a funny cartoon joke and eats a big meat on a bone. It's like, this is so good.
And like
Silly.
and like we say like Kuma's the greatest man of all time. We say that Rox D. Zebek is the greatest man of all time, but really Luffy is the greatest man of all time.
He is in a number of ways, but I do find myself sometimes kind of feeling like the greatness of these tertiary characters is kind of having negative knock-on effects, because as great as Luffy is, like part of the reason that Kuma is the greatest man of all time is because he's sort of like literate and
Yes.
he understands what's going on around him, and thus makes decisions with full knowledge of what is going into them and what the consequences will be. Therefore, when he makes these awful decisions for himself for the betterment of the other people in his life, you know that he understands everything about it and feels the full weight of that. And as much as I love Luffy and he is the great hero of the story, he could never do that because he would never have the mental capacity to grasp what's going
I mean,
on
Luffy doesn't
that
think.
much.
He doesn't think.
Exactly.
He's never had a thought in his life. Uh, but like, he's still great. We still love him. When he met uh Jaguar D Sol, Robin's basically adopted father, he was a kind gentleman and like bowed his head and thanked Jaguar D Sol for being there for Robin. So he's good. Like Luffy's great.
I talk okay, another thing
Oh,
that fucking I can't believe that's made me cry. Jaguar D Sol is the big giant who was a marine who was there who saved Robin's life when the island that she lived on got nuked for having too much hidden knowledge that they weren't supposed to have because he realized, oh, I hate being like he had the Monkey D Dragon realization, which is just like, oh, I'm a cop for Satan. And so, like, he saved Robin's life. Robin thinks that he died, but he didn't die. But here's the thing. He looks like fucking shit. His character
yes,
design is so bad.
He's what, like, I love Oda and I love his character design, but he basically just put a man in khaki shorts, a t-shirt, and gave him a cowboy hat, and like that made him a giant. And then that was like the
Yeah.
end of it. And yet he's one of the Will of D members that are supposedly so important to the lore.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. When we're like, oh, you're gonna meet Jaguar again. I'm just like, I don't remember what his personality was like. He was just some fucking plot development type of guy. And then he and Robin see each other again and speak for the first time since she was a little girl. And oh my God, like I'm getting teary now. Like it's so beautiful. I
I
love
mean,
it.
this is what happens because of how long One Piece is, I think. Like that's kind of the secret too, is that he'll just like invest emotions in things and then have that like nestle its way into your soul and it will stay there. And then he'll be like, hey, watch this. Just wait. And then like 5 years later, he'll be like, remember that little thing I nestled in your soul? Well, guess what? It's back, baby.
Yeah. And the thing that's so smart about this from a storytelling perspective is that it always seems like a magic trick, like he
Mhm.
knew all along. But the real truth is he starts so many plates spinning. There's like 50 plates that you just can't look. You can only have so many plates in your mind's eye at once. So like there's like 100 plates that have fallen to the ground that he never spun a second time. And you don't know that
Yep.
because you won't like you forgot about it. So when like one of them from 20 years ago is still spinning, you go, he must have been spinning it the whole time. It's like, no, he just was like, oh shit, I just thought of something. What if this came back? And like, ding. And you think that it was intentional, but like, he just has so many things that he can reach back and like, maybe I can connect to this. It'll be fun if I could connect to this. And then when it works, wow.
I think that that's one of the main One Piece like conversations is Oda a master planner who has like an intricate design for things, or is he just a kooky guy who picked thing up that he remembered? And I think it's definitely the second one. I do not think he is I think he has his overall idea, obviously, but I think for emotional beats, I think he definitely is just like let's pick this thing up and show it to you again that I also forgot about.
There is in the Wano arc a moment where the 9 legendary samurai are implementing their big plot to raid Kaido house and kick he ass. This is the only chance they're ever going to have to get to he house. It's impregnable in any other circumstance. And they go to the place where they were supposed to do the thing that got them there. And uh-oh, a spy in their ranks has leaked information and they cannot do it. All hope is lost. However, but a twist turns out that the leader of the 9 legendary samurai actually knew that it was going to get leaked and had leaked incorrect information. And everyone goes, what a genius strategist. What a great leader. And he is making a sort of a pained face of stoicism. And then you see in his interior mind, he goes, oh, I just made a mistake. and I didn't leak incorrect information. I just fucked up.
That's Oda.
And I hope no one finds out. That's Oda. I'm 100% that was him doing his self-insert. Like, he has done that face where he's just like,
oh yeah,
yes.
I'm a genius. Yes, of course, I planned this all along. You're so right, One Piece fans. And inside he is like, yep, I made a mistake.
God damn. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so good.
One Piece is good. It's the best.
One Piece really rules. I think one thing that is interesting about One Piece is that they made a fucking live action version. Why did they do that?
It's because that's something that you do. I truly believe it is just like, that's something that happens, but I don't know why culture has decided that that's the thing that needs to happen. And I will say, I enjoyed it. I agree, though, with Tom, it's like a C, but like also grading on a curve, it's an A.
Yeah, if your comparison is like good shows, it's a C.
Yeah.
If your comparison is the Cowboy Bebop live action, it's a big A.
And I will say that, like, I have gotten some people into One Piece with the live action because the manga and anime is daunting to start, even though I do think that if you just start, you will get pulled in. But like, you can watch the live action. It has emotional moments. They don't hit as hard, but also they're about to do a season 2, and I'm like, it's gonna take 10,000 years for them to get to the good stuff of One Piece.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I was like, oh, it's season 2. Obviously, they're gonna do Alabasta, which is like the big famous arc that like really puts One Piece like into full gear. Like,
It's where the Straw Hats take the training wheels off and have to face like a real serious like threat to the larger world, as opposed to like a small time crook on an island.
yes, and but then it turns out, nope. Season 2 is just going to get to Alabasta, and then we'll
wait, really?
Yes. Oh, did you not know? Do you not know that?
No, I thought they were gonna get to
It's just gonna get to Drum Island.
There's no crocodile.
Well, there's gonna be Crocodile because obviously Crocodile shows up before Alabasta starts, just as a little bit, but like, it's not gonna be the main part. I'm so sorry to let you know that. Of
this is fucking bullshit.
I'm sorry. Big reveal on mic.
I was sort of the same opinion as yeah, like you said. You said it was my opinion already, where it's just like, this is pretty good, and like I think it was kind of a waste of time to make, given how fucking expensive it was to make that season of TV. But like, I understand that there are gonna be normies and like dads who don't want to watch a cartoon. They just won't ever. And this is like the best chance they're ever gonna have to penetrate that market. Maybe they'll buy a Luffy figure where it's it looks like that actor Iñaki rather than the cartoon. I get that. That makes sense. Fair enough. But at the end of the season, I'm like, now what makes no sense, what I cannot fair enough is this fiction that we're gonna continue with the story. It's
Until
like,
it's over.
You can't. Like, that's impossible, right? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, how does it end? Like, how do you end it?
Do you think that if the manga ends, like, you're gonna get there? Like, you're gonna catch up? Like, it takes 2 and 3 years per fucking season. You're out of your mind.
We need to be, if you wanted to make this work, we needed to be back in the 90s before One Piece was even written, and like have like a 22 episode, 7 season, 44 minutes per episode show. You needed like a Star Trek Deep Space Nine levels of runtime. But when you're making like 8 episodes a season that are only an hour long, you will just never get there.
Yeah, you need Deep Space Nine runtime and season length, and you also need Deep Space Nine budget, which is to say, instead of building all of the ships for real, fucking like make a miniature
Yep.
and then cut to a set. You know, like just we don't need to make the ships for real. It would be ridiculous to make the ships for real because it adds so much money and so much time, and they're doing it anyway.
Probably because Oda wants it. In all honesty, it's probably because Oda wants it.
Oh, it's 100% because. And again, if I was, I know I said I couldn't. That I get it. That's fair. But now I'm looking at it from the perspective of like I'm Oda. I'm richer than I'll ever need to be. I have more money than I'll ever spend because what do I spend it on? My entire day and life, rather, is drawing my comic book.
And his house is like full of just like the bullshit that you buy when you're rich. Like he has like a werewolf animatronic in his house. Like like he I do want to interject with, there was a story where the Zorro actor went to Oda's house and saw that he had a big Whitebeard figure. And he said, "That's so cool." And Oda went, "Do you want it?" Because he probably like he was probably a part of a small set of figures that were made, and Oda probably got it for free or bought it or whatever, and he just like put it in his house, and it just exists without him paying attention to it. And he's just like, "Do you want this big Whitebeard figure?" And to the actor is like, "Wow, this is the coolest piece of merch I've ever seen." And to Oda, it's nothing.
Just like finally that shit out of my house.
Yeah. So like making the show is like, I can do this. I have the power and the money to just make a huge set.
Yeah, like if I had the power to like make the domed city from Sicko Shock 2 real, if that was just something that like I could do and all I had to do was like decide, like hell yeah, I would do that. Especially if to me it had no monetary downside.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck not? But like I don't know that so from Oda's perspective, yes, I can understand why he would, until they're sick of it, be like, you know what you should do is do the kid pirate ship with the big skull on the front. I'd like to see that in real life.
Can you build that for me?
Yeah, I do that too.
That all being said, in the amount of money I'm gonna pivot in all that money that they spend on that show. Why did they decide to make my good friend Tony Chopper into a hideous CGI creation?
They made him version 1 Sonic. They learned nothing, folks.
It is so version 1 Sonic.
I mean, what's to say? It looks like shit.
Yep.
I will say this. Marquez, you are aware of a mutual friend of ours by the name of Riley Hopkins, are you not?
Past Anime Sickos guest and writer of the RPG Interstitial?
Oh, that's the very same one.
Ah.
I have awful news about our mutual friend Riley Hopkins. Because, well, I'm looking at a Blue Sky tweet right now from Riley Hopkins. bisky.app/profile/bad-fucking-podcast.com/post/3LQ4JNUUW520. Put that in your browser window, click, and you'll see the following words. I fuck with live action One Piece Chopper. I think he cooks. In motion, he looks good.
Buddy, you're wrong.
Nope. Nope.
Just not.
Riley, I love you. No.
He doesn't look good.
Can't say that.
He's just wrong. It's just factually incorrect. Like, you can have opinions, and that's fine, but I mean, you also are wrong.
I mean, like, you can say anything. Like, I was about to say it's a free country. It's
not.
Explicitly not.
It's really
like
not.
There's so much proof that it isn't. It's less free now than it's ever been. But you can still just say stuff, especially if it's not seditious. I think this is actually close to seditious.
It's close to
He does not cook.
Decidedly so.
In motion, he looks good. You know what this is actually making me do?
Just look up the video.
Yeah, Tony Chopper live action reveal. Chopper first look. I'm watching the video, folks. He's hiding behind a pillar. You see his little red shorts. His hat's poking out. You see his fuzzy antler. His eyes are so okay. Yeah, no, Riley, you're wrong. It's the same. It's the exact same problem with version 1 Sonic. Like the little realistic eyes in the cartoon body.
Wrong.
Ugh.
Like,
no.
He needs to have big, round, awful eyes, cartoon eyes, because the real eyes are awful. But like awful round eyes would be great.
Realize that this looks like shit.
True.
Oh, it's no good.
I urge all listeners to watch the video and to drum up engagement. Please give your opinions at Anime Sickos on Bluesky. I don't know your Bluesky.
It's Anime Sickos. We got the Anime Sickos handle.
Oh,
I don't think there's anyone else who wants that.
You know what? Now I'm regretting not getting the Anime Sickos handle and then forcing you to purchase it from me. I should have done that.
I would have been devastated.
That's my number one thing. That's the number one thing I'd do if I had a time machine.
Not okay.
Nope. Not all those great things that you're thinking of.
Yeah, I was just saying that this is no longer a free country and you can't say seditious things, so I can't talk about which babies that you would kill instead.
Nope, I would definitely do that Bluesky thing first.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like mostly what we want listeners to take away from this episode is that One Piece was good and still is good. And it feels like it's going to continue to be good.
What if it just got bad? What if it just got bad?
I would cry, dude. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking was happening with Wano when there was just the endless gauntlet of like, and now here's Frankie versus Sasaki.
Yeah.
And now here's like Nami versus Ulti. And now here's Queen versus Sanji. Oh, actually, I got to talk about this shit. Oh, Sanji, his big conflict is that he is genetically engineered by his evil scientist father, who's a Nazi who wants him to have no feelings. And he's like, but I love having feelings, Dad, and I want to be a cook. And he's like, you can't be a cook because you have to be a genociding guy, Sanji. And so he hates and rejects his family heritage. And he is fighting Queen, a big, funny guy who loves to be funky. And I love Queen, personally. Yes. I think everyone does. And Queen is like kicking he damn ass. He's like absolutely owning Sanji, and he crushes Sanji in a big. He's like a snake. He's a brontosaurus that shoots out just his head and tail like a big snake and leaves the brontosaurus body behind, and wraps him up like a snake and crushes every bone in Sanji's body, killing him instantly. And the series is over. No, actually, turns out Sanji has his father's technology running through his bloodstream, which renders him immune to all damage no matter what. So he just gets up and is fine and kicks Queen's ass. Now, I was expecting once the dust clears, there would be some reckoning with I can't run away from my heritage. Yes. My evil father's scientific heritage runs in my blood, and it actually is my strength. How am I going to deal with that? And or the classic thing of like, you have this strength, but here is the downside, like Gear 5 is really strong, but when it wears off, Luffy turns to an old man and can't do anything. Neither of those happen. Sanji is just invincible forever, no matter what.
And that's because Oda's idea of like politics and it's just amorphous. It's just like, is good thing good, is bad thing bad. If you try to get any more granular in like, how does this make me feel using the weapons of my enemies to defeat them? And it's just like, whatever. It's okay. You don't have to reckon with that stuff. Don't even think about it. You're one of the Straw Hat crew. You're good.
And then also slightly less annoying is that like during that when Zoro has his fight with King, who is a black man, and Zoro loves killing people of color. Yep. What weird how that keeps happening. But he has this fight with King, and he almost dies, and he has to take a medicine made by the minks, and they're like, this medicine's gonna fucking kill you. It's gonna make you get back up, but it's gonna like double, triple, 10 times your pain. It's gonna be like you're gonna be way worse when it wears off. And as he's fighting, he sees a image of the Grim Reaper coming for him, and he collapses after defeating King. And the consequence of that is he wakes up later and he eats a big meat and drinks beer.
Like, yeah, he gets wrapped up in a bunch of bandages and just sleeps it off.
That's so, yeah. So you can understand why during Wano I was like, maybe we're getting better. Also, Wano they tried to do this tertiary character is the greatest man of all time with Kozuki Oden, but it didn't fucking hit. And I'll tell you why. Because Wano is so isolated, because it's feudal Japan, it's a closed country, just like feudal Japan used to be, huh? And also, because he's so mysterious, like, you hear that, like, Kozuki Oden was with Gold Roger. Kozuki Oden is this and that, but it's so mysterious. Because of that, we just get told that he did a lot of cool stuff, but we don't actually know any of it. So, like, we get hyped up with no sort of, like, hints as to why the hype is so good. And then you see Kozuki Oden, and you're like, I guess he was a pretty nice guy. I guess he was pretty strong. Too bad what happened to him.
I mean, like, yeah, and to be fair, bad thing happened to him.
But, like, so what? Like, bad things happen to a lot of people. Bad things happened to Kuma, and they were way more important to the world at large, and also way more emotionally impactful, because we knew about Kuma a little bit, and we, like, he has had effects outside of a closed nation that we haven't heard anything about, other than that it's closed and you don't know anything about this nation. You see what I mean?
The Wano arc is like the country of Wano itself, and that everything that happens within it, like, has no bearing on outside of the arc itself. Like, if you skipped it, you would miss not a lot. I don't think you'd miss Gear 5 introduction, but like, in terms of like the effects on the One Piece world, it's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Gear 5 clips that Crunchyroll put on YouTube, and if you opened up a piece of paper that I slid to you, you unfolded it, and it said, Luffy go to Kaido house and beat he ass, that's it. Like, there you go.
I mean, essentially, the storytelling thing that Oda is doing there is just taking the Straw Hats off the board for a couple of months so that the world can have drastic shifts without them.
That's true, and that is super fun.
Yeah, and it's great because when they come back, it's like, Buggy is a warlord of the sea, or no, not a warlord. He's an emperor.
An emperor.
Like, Buggy is emperor now.
Honestly, seeing because we know that there's going to be new emperors, because Kaido and Big Mom have both been deposed. So that's half of them gone. We know Luffy is going to be one of the new ones. And that's exciting because, like, he's been, building, he's been gathering aura and hype moments for so long that, like, it's inevitable, and like, it's finally going to happen. He's going to break big. Who's going to be the other emperors of the sea? And all Buggy.
It's Buggy the Clown.
It's Buggy the gag guy.
It's the guy that everyone hates and nobody likes.
Who's very weak, who's never done anything good.
Nope. That's why he's my favorite character, by the way.
He's Oda's favorite character, and rightly so. Otherwise, why would you have him keep falling ass backwards into great positions of power?
It's like, listen, I like a failure, and that's what Buggy is, and that's why he's my favorite character, because he failed. If he did good thing, he wouldn't be a good character.
100%. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, so I won't do it, because I believe that gambling is evil.
Yes.
But if I were to make a bet, I would put like $1,000 on, at the end of One Piece, to the larger world who doesn't know the actual truth of the events that have occurred, the king of the pirates who saved everything is going to be Buggy the Clown.
Yes, 100%.
There will be some miscommunication that leads that to be the consensus opinion, and Luffy won't care.
Yeah, Luffy won't care. Well, Luffy would care because he'd be like, I hate that guy, but he won't, like, actually comment on it.
Yeah, it won't be like, it should have been me. He's just like, look, Buggy, fucking get him off my screen.
Yep. And everyone in the world, we'll cut to like what One Piece loves to do is just cut to every island, and everyone will be like, "Well, we gotta thank Buggy the Clown." We'll be like, "Wow, I thought that guy was a piece of shit, but it turns out he was on our side this whole time."
Shanks is going to meet up with him again and put an arm around him and be like, I knew you could do it, Buggy. I knew it all along. You had it in you. And Buggy be like, yes, I definitely did. Eyes dart side to side. He's so fun.
I also like that he's friends with Shanks because it's the best decision that you could have made for that character.
I have they made little figures of Kid Buggy and Kid Shanks from when they were on Roger's crew as little boys, and I have those figures, right? I'm looking at them right now. They're such pieces of shit. I love them.
See, like I'm a big fan of following like the 10 Commandments, because I'm holy and good. There's one that's like covet thy neighbor's good, like do not covet thy neighbor's good. That's like one of them, like the 10, and I'm like, damn, I'm coveting Tom Harrison's Buggy and Shanks figures.
They weren't that expensive. They're really little. So, like, I think they were like $20-$30. They probably made 1 billion of them. You can get them for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's going to be a purchase I make. I'm so sorry. Or give Oda more money.
God damn. Is there anything left to say about One Piece, or have we caught the readers up to current?
Fuck the Odyssey. Chris Nolan's movie is gonna be bad because it's not gonna be One Piece.
They got that fucking Marvel armor where it's got all the little plastic doodads. You've seen there's pictures of the set.
Yeah,
they got the Marvel armor. Lame.
Yeah.
Make them look like old time guys. Boo.
But like One Piece is better than the great classic oral tradition of the Odyssey. Homer found dead in the ditch. Oda is the true best author.
Oh, here's why, actually. I can't believe we almost overlooked this. Talk about a guy who, this is actually not another example of guy who you have no feelings about turns out to be the greatest guy of all time. This is rather guy who you recognize right away. This is one of the greatest guys of all time. Only gets better. Emporio Ivankov.
Oh, my guy. One of the greatest to ever do it.
You first meet him as the queen of the Okama, who is hiding in the great prison Impel Down, where they have made a secret paradise in the horrible prison, and he helps Luffy and all the guys escape, and he kicks ass, and he can have the horn fruit and change people to boy and girl at whim. It's beautiful. And
Oda saw Rocky Horror Picture Show one time. And was like,
just like, I love this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna
give me more.
But wait, what if his head were like a lot bigger?
You think it's because of his devil fruit? No,
we see him when he's young, and his head is still big.
And we see him when he's young because, like, he is not only was he like, and I feel wrong calling him he because he switches genders very frequently, but I'm going to do it because I'm a boy and it's what I fucking default to. Sorry, that's just how I am. If you meet him and he is helping, he's the catalyst that helps Luffy get out of this awful situation, and you're like, what a fucking hero. And then you see Kuma's backstory, and Kuma gets into these awful scenarios when he's a child that are hopeless. And who is the person who is like Kuma? You got to understand, in these scenarios, you don't give up hope. You fight back. The only thing you can do is fight. Save as many people as you can. You don't need to save everyone. If you can save even one person, if you can save even just yourself, you just have to keep fighting. That's all that matters. And you're like, fuck, Iva, you're the best motherfucker on the planet. And then why is the pawpaw fruit so fucking powerful? Because it was one of the special prizes for the murder. In addition to the prize of you can have this sexy slave to do crimes to, one of them you could be like, you can get one of the most powerful devil fruits that ever was, the paw fruit, and fucking Iva steals it for Kuma. That's why he has the paw powers. And then you're like, oh, also he's like the co-leader of the fucking revolutionary army with drag. Like, everywhere Iva is, like, good things are happening. And always his head is
Yep.
huge and he loves to be flamboyant.
Yeah. I mean, pick character from One Piece. They're great.
Yeah.
You know, what's his name? The baby man.
Senor Pink.
Senor Pink, one of the greatest to ever do it.
I think that Senor Pink, I think, was a writing exercise for Oda, which is just like, I want to make the dumbest man who ever lived, and then see if I can justify every part of his dumbass look in a way that makes people cry. And he did. He did do that.
I don't think we should go into Senor Pink. I think we should just tell people to look up Senor Pink.
He's a hard-boiled ladies' man gangster who dresses like a giant baby. And then when you learn the reason he dresses like a giant baby, you do the same thing that Frankie does while he's fighting him, which is weep over what a noble and great man he is that we all respect.
So yeah, One Piece is full of guys that are the greatest man who ever lived. That's just it. Like, Luffy's one of them, but maybe he's not as great as the other, but still, you gotta love Luffy.
He's got more to do. Maybe he'll do some shit that he's the greatest. I mean, when he
punched the Celestial Dragon, that was one of the greatest moments of all time. So
he's gonna punch the mysterious king of Earth, Emu.
Yeah, he gonna punch that guy.
Does all the kill. He gonna fucking kick his.
Like, I bet. Ass. Yeah, I think Emu's gonna give a big speech about how important he is, and then Luffy's gonna tell him to shut up, and then he's gonna punch him.
That'll be good. That'll be really good. I'm thinking about it right now.
And like, I'm thinking of like a king of a place that I would like Luffy to tell to shut up and then punch.
Oh my god.
What
if he turned his head to rubber and the outline of his fist came out the other side?
That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be a good day for me.
Just saying.
Yep. Oh, I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to say one little image from the Egghead arc that I fucking love. So there have been these 5 elders who are, in theory, the highest ranking government officials, but there's the secret king who's above them, of course. Anyway, they always sit in a room and do nothing. During Egghead, they actually show up and do fighting, and they all turn into crazy, like, mythical monsters with their impossible devil fruit power. And they're also able to teleport using satanic pentagrams.
Yeah, just magic.
Which don't seem to have anything to do with devil fruits. That's just magic that Emu, the king of Earth, uses to allow them to go places quickly. Anywho, one of them fucks up big time because obviously the Straw Hats win. He was supposed to make them lose. That was like his job, and he didn't do it. And so he is in like a room sort of dressing down his subordinates, being like, let's talk about how you all fucked up and allowed the Straw Hats to escape. And I really didn't like that when you did that. And just so you remember, folks, One Piece is a series where people don't really die. Even if characters look like they definitely died, they almost certainly didn't die. They just never die. Oda has said that I don't like killing characters because a villain is more humiliated when they live knowing that their ideals have been destroyed.
And also so Oda can just bring them back to like team up with Luffy in a prison,
What if he killed Buggy in the first arc? That would be miserable. So, deaths just don't, like, there was the one everyone says is the Falcon guy from Alabasta is carrying a big bomb that was going to destroy the city in his talons, and it explodes while he's holding it. He's fine. He came back. Anywho, what was this? Oh, yeah. He's this one of the 5 elders is like, you guys really fucked up, and here's how you're going to get punished. And off screen, Emu was just like, well, this one of the 5 elders, he's no good no more. He just does. He doesn't have what it takes for the role. And so he turns off his immortality and he turns to bones in front of everyone.
He become bone.
And they're all just like, whoa, fuck.
It's great. It's like, again, Oda, who never kills people, just decides to turn a guy into bone.
What if Stephen Miller were dressing down a ice
Just
cell for not getting enough people, and he turned to bones.
he turned to bones.
I mean, that's exactly what it is, basically.
I mean, I wish.
Anyway, that really is all the time we have for Anime Sickos. We're gonna get black bagged if we keep going.
You're right.
Marquez, this was absolutely delightful.
I'm always happy to yap about One Piece. It's my favorite thing to yap about.
It's so fun. You never run out of possible like digressions or new topics because there's just such a rich.
I like how you say new topics, but most of the time I'm yapping. I'm like, remember that thing I talked about like 3 different times? I'm gonna restate how good that is. Remember when Robin like screamed that she wanted to live? Like, I'll just keep saying that that's good.
I'm picturing that panel right now. Incredible. One of the greatest ever done. She wants to live. She didn't before, and now she does. You know, Luffy really is one of the greatest guys because it's because of him that she did that.
Yeah, so point proven.
Jesus Christ. Also, I know I've tried to wrap up like 5 times, but it is so ridiculous that Sanji's 2-year time skip training arc is running away from trans women who want to smooch him because he thinks they're so gross.
He learned how to fly with his feet when he did that.
But also, Ivankov, the gender swapping character, is like the most noble and honorable and respected person in the world. Like, I'm so like, what? Talk about incoherent beliefs. What can you do? Fuck Sanji. That's what. Don't actually fuck him.
No, he wouldn't know what to do if you tried.
If you showed him like a nude pussy, he'd just die. Like, he'd like literally die then.
That's a good place to stop, honestly.
That's all the time we had. That's all the time we have for Anime Sickos. I've been Tom and Anime Sicko.
I've been Marquez, guest Anime Sicko.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Tom Harrison. Joe was also a sicko. You can follow him on Blue Sky at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Blue Sky at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. You can give us money at patreon.com/Anime Sickos if you want. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.